Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 184 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play, set mode, no items, so yeah. So before we get into today's episode, I have some unfortunate news about this battle. I will try to go through this explanation and rant very quickly and simply, but it might be a little bit lengthy, so yeah, and if you don't care to listen, that's fine. I should have a timestamp in the comment section below, timestamp there, yeah, okay. So, unfortunately, with the spaceship battle in particular, it is really buggy for me. I've gone through this over like an hour plus, maybe even 2 hours. I've redone this team like 3 or 4 times, rearranging Pokemon, redoing this, changing that, yada yada yada, and no matter what I do, sticking to the formula that I want to stick with, the battle is just buggy. I wish it wasn't that way. I don't know why it is, but bugs are just something that's going to be in almost every game in general, so it just is what it is. Now, to get into the specifics of the bug, and you'll see it firsthand when we actually get into the battle. So for Spacia, for an example, Spacia, however you want to pronounce her name, there's a point where, well, let me start with this. My original team, if I remember correctly, it was the Amoonguss, the Guard, I brought on the Lapras because of Freeze Dry, Chomp because, well, it's a Chomp, it makes sense. I don't remember the other 2 Pokemon. I think I had like a Clefable and some other ground type. I don't really remember, honestly. But anyways, my idea was Spore with the Palkia, because the Dialga battle, depending on the turns that you get with like Sleep and whatnot, it's not terrible. But again, it all comes down to that personally, or well, yeah, not personally, but wrong word there, but you get the point. It just comes down to that. But once you get past the Dialga, it's the Palkia that is the menace, in my opinion. Now, whenever I go for Spore with the Amoonguss, it takes the hit barely. It falls asleep. I go into Lapras, for an example, go for Freeze Dry, break a shield. It wakes up because of the status healing thing, and then she's like, alright, I'm going to take your Pokemon. The Lapras is now on her side. The sleep effect is transferred onto the Lapras itself, and the Palkia is awakened once again. And not once again, but it was asleep. It takes your Pokemon, the status goes into the Lapras, Palkia is awake, and then I go to another Pokemon. So at that time, I went into Amoonguss again just to sack it off and just go for Spore just for the hell of it. I knew it wasn't going to outspeed in general, but I was just like, whatever, just let it go and then see how it plays out. I got this pop-up error rectangle thing, and what it did was it stopped the Palkia from attacking, and for some reason my Amoonguss was able to outspeed and put it to sleep. And I was pretty much able to win the battle with doing that, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not playing that kind of way, because that is really cheap, and I just don't want to win because of a bug. It just seemed really dumb to me. So I was like, alright, Amoonguss, as much as I like the idea of Spore, you gotta go because you're messing up the battle here. I tried a Quagsire with Yawn, and the same thing kind of happened. I tried the same thing with a Meowstic, the same thing kind of happened. So I got to the point that I was like, you know what? Let me try building a team that I think, despite the bugs, I can still win. I am at the latest version, 13.5.7. I've gone through this battle easily over an hour plus, if I haven't said that already. And my idea of Yawn or Spore, just putting it to sleep, it makes the most sense. Yes, Toxic is a thing, but every turn that the shield is broken, if I'm not mistaken, the status is healed, and then it transfers that status once it steals a Pokemon from our side, and it just... sleeping makes the most sense to me. Putting it to sleep makes the most sense. Sorry, I worded that weird, but yeah. Could I go back to the concert, redo the team and all of that? Yes. Do I want to do that? No, I don't. I don't want to do that all over again, just to come back to this point, and it's still not enough to win. So, yeah, it is what it is. I wish I had better news. I think I made a team that, despite some of the bugs that happened, I think this can still win. I've only won 1 time. I'll get more into detail once we get into that battle itself, so yeah. As always with these kind of videos, I always want to be honest and transparent with you guys, and yeah. Do I want it to be this way? No. but I don't know why it's doing that. And I've gone through so many different battles, changing this, doing that, and it still keeps doing the same thing, and I just don't want to go back to an old save. I've already talked about my feelings on the last episode. I still wish there was a way that you can go back to that world to at least do some of that kind of stuff. I understand the circumstances. It's meant to be a situation where they trap you here, it's you going up against them, but for new players, it really is kind of brutal to them, you know what I mean? And even like players like me that, you know, I think I have something solid, but yet still, because of stuff like that, it somewhat requires me to go back, and I'm just like, I just don't really want to. I don't want to. It is what it is. I'm being lazy, I'm being dumb here, but there's not a lot else I can really say or do about that bug. If there comes a point where V14 arrives, I will say this, that it fixes this, I am more than happy to go back to an old save, redo this battle, and actually win without it being like buggy and whatnot. So yeah, regardless, I think this is a team that I can pull off the win regardless of the bugs mattering too much. Maybe, maybe not. Again, I'll get more into detail once we get into the battle, so yeah. So we'll go on ahead and skip through this dialogue here. Now the dialogue for the most part isn't too terrible. It comes down to your turn to sleep, honestly, because, you know, a lot of our Pokemon can't really do a lot against it, sorry. So, yeah, let's go for Yawn here. Gonna go for Flash, or not Flash Cannon, sorry. Light Screen. It goes to sleep. Oh, didn't mean to hit the, excuse me, their lamp there. Go into the Chomp, go for Earthquake, break the shield. This turn, it's going to be Awaken of its status. So that kind of happens. We take one hit. Now we're -2 speed, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into Sheriff. Go for Tailwind. We're out. Back into the Chomp because I'm more than certain with Tailwind. I think, voice crack there, I think we outspeed. Yes. Yes, Lapras is fine. Freeze Dry, because I'm sure we could take a hit. I guess it went frozen for a moment, but with the status thing, it re-healed itself, or maybe it just did it first turn, I don't know. But yeah, as you can see here, you have to play a little bit wonky here, but still you are able to win and go through this pretty simply, hopefully. So just go for damage. Yes, back into Ice Cream, go for Yawn. That's fine. Mimikyu, because of Disguise. Go for Play Rough. Sorry, because of Disguise we're able to take a hit. Play Rough. Hit to sleep. And then just... Honestly, I don't know. I'll just Play Rough again. I don't know if Shadow Sneak would have taken it out. Oh wait, actually I might have misplayed. Actually, yeah, I think I misplayed. Yeah, I did. Let me redo that again. Okay, take 2. Now, I do apologize if I messed up a little bit. I did this battle like yesterday, so... I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. Nice. I think no, I kind of need that light screen up, honestly. I mean, I'll play it out, but I'm pretty sure I definitely need that. Yeah, I kind of feel like I needed that. Because these guys can't really do anything to it, so... Yeah, I need a game that it doesn't crit. Alright, take 3 again. I just went for yawn. Screen's here. It's asleep. Going to the chomp. Earthquake. Breaks a shield. It's awake because of the status thing. It goes for that. I can go into Talon. Just Tailwind is fine. Let me play a little bit differently, actually. Instead of going straight into the chomp, let's go for yawn again. Go into you, Earthquake. Violet. Substitute. And just hope it doesn't wake up super early. Okay, good. That's fine. Hyper voice. See, and that's the thing that kind of like sucks, because it's like if I can get one more turn of it staying asleep, we could have gotten off like 2 hyper voices, you know? And I don't know if that's going to be enough to win, but I think I don't really know, but it's a little bit tricky because like it really comes down to like the amount of like turns that it's asleep. Because like I feel like hyper voice would still do like a ton to this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo that. Okay, I'm back again. I decided to skip through that a little bit. I went for screen and yawn, so chomp. Same thing as before, Earthquake. Covers. You know, let's go for the offense this time. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did with this battle. So let's go about in that direction. Yawn again. Okay. Screen's faded. I'm now lowered in sleep, or lowered speed now. That does that. Go into you. Freeze dry. That's fine. Here we go, I think I got it. With the right amount of turns in sleep, I think we got it. Yeah, okay. So, I think it definitely overall comes down to the amount of turns that you put it to sleep with, and all that kind of good stuff is what kind of matters with this kind of battle. I know it's a little bit tricky with this battle, it comes down to those kind of turns, but it definitely does work. Yes, I could add like a Quag or like another ground type, but if I can win with this team against a Palkia, then I want to stick to this team as much as I can. So that's just kind of my thought process there. Now is going to be the fun part. Now, I'm going to immediately save here. I just don't feel like redoing that over and over and over and over. So, we got the win against the Dialga. I'm just going to save right there. Now, I'm pretty certain... Yes, I've gone through this dialogue as well in the last episode. Now is where the fun begins. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Earberry, of course, has been used up. I'm trying to remember how I went about this battle. And I guess, I know I showed at the beginning, I'll re-show it again just in case for players. And then when the bug stuff happens, I'll point it out and talk about it. I think I just went for Yawn, honestly. I don't know if that crit mattered or not. I honestly don't know. But regardless, I think Lapras is the play. Now that's odd. Last time it transferred to sleep to the Lapras. This time it didn't. That's new and odd. Oh, nope, there's that pop-up there. So, I don't know if it picks up that sound effect or not. It's like the I don't know how to like describe that sound, but it's like Pokemon Rejuvenation 13.5.7, no method error, and it's like this giant rectangular pop-up. And yeah, so I have to press OK here, go for Hyper Voice, and then of course it attacks the Lapras. Now, here's the thing that I will defend myself on that turn. I did some showdown calcs. Now, I don't know if this will win. I really don't know, but going about this battle, I don't think it matters too much with that little pop-up error, because again, doing some calcs, Mega Gardevoir at level 90 outspeeds Palkia Modest Nature at level 85. I looked at the wiki of Rejuvenation, and it's a level 85 Palkia, if that's correct information, and it's Modest Nature, so there's no universe that it would have outsped me anyways, so do keep that in mind. So then I kind of go for Hyper Voice again. It stays asleep. No, no more, no more. So then it recovers of the status, then takes that. Okay, let me... Now, I don't remember if this is exactly what I did, but I think I did something similar, but I don't know if I can win with this. But I did want to show, like, regardless, even though it did something a little bit different than what it did yesterday from what I remember, that pop-up still kind of happens there. think the only play is Mimikyu. Just play rough this monstrosity. Okay. Now that's the odd thing. Unless I'm being dumb, why did Disguise not work? Is it the... I don't think it has an ability that... like Mold Break or anything like that. I don't know, because I feel like I should have been able to, you know, take a hit. I don't know. That is odd. Oh, that kind of sucked because, like, Disguise did that, Shadow Sneak, get rid of the guard. Yeah, I might have been able to win. I don't know. I honestly don't know why that didn't work. Man, even with Tailwind, it... Wow. Okay. Then... something different must have happened. Maybe that turn where it critted Ice Cream, maybe that did matter at the start. But I'm still curious on why Disguise didn't work. I'm curious about that. I'm not certain. Let me try that again. Alright, take 2 on this battle here. So this time, instead of going for Yawn immediately, let's do that. Okay, take 3 without getting credit, hopefully. Okay, now go for Yawn. Okay. Lapras makes total sense. Freeze Dry. Break a shield. It's gonna wake up this turn, take the Lapras. Take good care of it. Yeah, there it is. So initially, the first battle that we went through when it got a crit on the Meowstic, it didn't transfer it, but that time it did. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Anyways, let's go into Ice Cream, go for Yawn here. And that's where that pop-up happens yet again. I'm just gonna click OK. I go for Yawn, and see, that's the point where it sucks because the Palkia, you know, should be able to attack me and force me out. Now, here's where I'm gonna... like, again, I'm not saying it doesn't matter. It does matter, but I'm gonna word in a way that I think regardless, I think I can still pull off the win here. Let's say, for an example, the Palkia was able to attack, it sends Ice Cream to the Shadow Realm. It's dead, it's gone. Goodbye, Ice Cream. You did what you had to do. That forces me instantly to go into Violet, right? Now, with it going for that attack, it would have been asleep, you know, at that point of it, you know, taking the turn to take me out. It's asleep, the Lapras is asleep. I go straight into Violet, Mega Evolve, and go for Hyper Voice. Just go for damage, right? I think hopefully some see where I'm coming from, that it does matter, but I think it could have worked out regardless. So what I'm going to do with this turn is just go for a useless move. Reflect doesn't really help me at all in this battle, so I'm just gonna do that. It's asleep, and again, that's the thing that like sucks. So realistically, this guy would be dead and gone, but it just isn't. I'm gonna go into Violet. It does the weird error thing again, so they stay asleep for a turn. Go for Hyper Voice. The error happens again. Now in this instance, Guard should always outspeed the both of them regardless of whatever happens, so yeah. But I don't know, like it just, if there was like a point where one of them like woke up or something, you know what I mean? I feel like I feel like these turns, like it does matter though, you know what I mean? Especially this one, because at some point these two should have woken up. And again, I keep getting this weird error thing. And of course now, no more. Status is gone. Lapras is gone. And yeah. While like it's hard to argue it, because it's like I think maybe, but the chances are honestly like low, because like if it should have woken up like a turn ago, you know what I mean? At the latest, if it takes up 3 turns to like sleep. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Again, it definitely does matter. I think there's some turns that I think maybe, and that's a big maybe, I can pull it off, but it just takes a lot of luck with getting like 3 turns of sleep. And yeah, and again, I've gone through this battle so many times, and I don't know why it's buggy like this. I've tried different combinations, it just does that, and I don't know why. Whether I tried something with Spore or for Yawn or anything like that. Again, there could be a whole nother way to go about this battle without doing that, but I just feel that sleep makes so much sense, you know? And I feel that it's kind of unfortunate that it just bugs it out like that. Yeah, in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know. And I know there might be some that might be like, just run with it, but I don't know, it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel fair to me, you know? And here's the wacky thing. The one turn, or the last battle, if I remember to add it, I'll clip it in the video here. It played out a lot more differently, and there was like a few Pokemon like dead at this point, but apparently this turn it worked out that they're all still here. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe this team, regardless of the bugs, could still pull it off. Maybe not. I think it's, I'm gonna say it's a 50-50. I think it can work, but it just depends on the right turns, the right moves, and to just do it correctly. Because if not, then no, you're gonna end up in failure a lot of the time. But yeah, it is what it is. I wish I had different news. I wish I had something different to say, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Regardless, I'm gonna go into Chomp, sack it off. Go into Mimikyu. Play rough. See, and that's the odd thing. I don't know why Disguise doesn't work. That's another thing that is like kind of like bothering me as well with this battle. I don't know why it doesn't. What's your ability? Oh, it is Mold Breaker. I'm stupid. Okay, ignore me, ignore me. I was thinking it was like telepathy or something. Nope, ignore me. It's Mold Breaker. But yeah, I think at this point Yeah. Now, I didn't go into the Meowstic again for obvious reasons, because that thing should have been dead, so that's why I didn't go into that at all, and I used the other ones that were alive in the battle itself, but yeah. Again, like, some can argue it or not. I understand it completely. I get it. This definitely was unfortunate, and I didn't want to win in this kind of way. But again, going through this, I don't mean to be like repetitive about these kind of things, but it's just going through this like an hour plus, changing all sorts of different things, and it still kept doing that weird error thing. I don't know what else to do or say. I don't know. Again, I feel it's a 50-50. I think this team can win despite the bugs. I think it can, but it will take the right moves, the right natures, abilities, and all this kind of stuff. So the right circumstances, even with it going to sleep for multiple turns and now waking up like the next turn, definitely matters a lot within this battle here. So yeah, it is what it is. Again, as I said before, when V14 arrives, if they fix some of these errors, I am more than happy to go back to this battle and retry it again without being so buggy with a team like this, and just to see if I could have won anyways without, you know, the bugs and whatnot. So yeah, I'm curious if there are other people that have experienced this as well. I don't know if it's just a thing with my game, or if it's something with multiple people's save files that it does the same thing, but yeah, I'm not too happy about it. But just to continue the story and this series here and bring it to an end very soon, I just want to continue on. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's just, yeah, I don't know, like, I feel really off about it and just have a lot of mixed feelings about it, because like it's the final battle of this chapter, and I just didn't want it to be in a way that it was just buggy like that. So yeah, Alon defeated Spacia. You. When I prepared you two for the path set by Her Majesty, I had no idea that path would lead to this point. You hadn't considered the possibility that we would surpass you. For all your planning, I thought you'd take at least that into account. A fatal error on our part, but I suppose it's more of a failure on mine than Tempa's. I know she's been working with you. Not even she can escape my vision, but she may have seen something I didn't. But even so, Her Majesty's wish, Miss Varaya, I will uphold her wish to the very end. Now, just to kind of save here, and to kind of pause the screen here, it's one of those rare scenes that it gives me goosebumps, and it's intriguing and interesting and amazing. Going back to when I used to play like V12 so many nights as a teen, then V13, and now here we are, V13.5, you've known about Her Majesty. I have always had two ideas. It was either Varaya or Madam X. I was like 90% certain it's Varaya and 10% Madam X. And for her to just say Varaya, it fits into place so perfectly with everything that you see, especially with V13.5, because think about it for a moment. V12, you didn't have all this information that V13 and V13.5 gave you. You didn't have a lot of that, so speculating, theorizing all certain things, I feel in a sense was kind of more difficult during those chapters. And there are so many people that are way wiser, smarter than me and have some big brains, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's incredible just thinking back on those kind of things, you know? But reaching this point now, even with like your guys' comments on theories and going back to what I've always thought throughout the years, it's so cool how, like, again, there's many things that I've been wrong about, yes, absolutely. But there's also so many things that I was on the right track about, that I was right about. And so many, you know, other players as well have probably thought very similar things. But it's such an interesting feeling for her herself to mention the name, to finally say who Her Majesty is, Miss Varaya. It's just so cool, you know what I mean? It's just so cool. And with that scene, you see her like it was a fatal error on our part, how Her Majesty like led you to this point for us to lose, like it was a mistake on our end. But okay, it is what it is. Our job is to guide you guys by her ruling. You guys have concerned us by wanting to, you know, take away us out of the picture and go a whole new direction. Our path, our role by her is to protect the millions. You may not agree with what we're doing, you may not like the formula we're making, but that is what is instilled to us. We've lived it within Old Earth. We've seen billions of lives lost, and so many more have faded into oblivion. As Tempa said, and I would assume the same thing with Spacia, I just want what's best for everyone. If I need to cut down one person, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, even 1,000,000 if I have to do it, if it saves the rest of humanity, I'll do it. I will do what must be done for the sake of life itself. And again, as I brought up on the last episode, it's the two different opinions, two different worlds colliding. You have us that are like, there's a different way we can save people without being so cold, so manipulative, so just mean, and all these kind of words. And it's just two different opinions clashing, two worlds. Her with Her Majesty, and us and our miracle that we're trying to bring into this world. And unfortunately it came down to a fatal error. She thought she could have won. She knew what Tempo was doing. But even her saying, there might have been something I missed on that chessboard. There might have been a move that she saw that you guys are going into that I'm overlooking and not seeing. Maybe I'm the one that's blundering and I shouldn't get in your way. It's just really interesting to talk and think about these kind of things. What's going on? What now? What now? This isn't good. I can feel the gravity here thicken and change. She's going to implode her own domain to take us out with her. At this rate, we'll be ripped out of existence. We need a miracle? Question mark? Finally made it. The 100th floor. Yeah. Let's go. Now, I'm gonna save right here. And I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm just gonna go through this dialogue in one go, not do a spoiler rant or anything like that in the middle of it. But after I just go through all of this, I'm gonna go back to this point here, and then just go into a long spoiler rant, just going wacky with all sorts of, you know, the dialogue pieces that we're about to see here. So yeah, because this is easily one of the most wacky and wild parts in the entire story, if not the most wacky thing that has ever been seen within the game. I know there's many things that can be argued against that, but I'm just saying in general, this is easily one of the most wacky things given to us. This is just I cannot read today. This is just any other floor. Did we really climb this tower for nothing? Stop that. We haven't even looked around yet. We should investigate before we jump to conclusions. Sure. Let's take a look around before we say anything. Now, of course, we have this tablet there, but I'm just gonna kind of look around real quick. I don't think there's really anything that you can really interact with besides the tablet, but I do just want to look around just in case. Now, I don't think you can go back into the elevator, right? Okay, it just gives you some dots. Okay. Let's go through this then. Did you find something? Yeah. This monitor is suspicious. Is anything else happening? I don't think so. Welcome to the plane of dissonance, however you say that correctly. Hey, it's that voice again. Voice from before. Why are you here? Why won't you create everyone's good ending? You said the same thing last time. What did you mean? This is comprehensively unkempt. This isn't how this was supposed to go. Why are you doing this? I'm so confused. Who are you? To climb the tower, your wish is to escape. That's all this has ever been for. We want to go back home. Do you know if that is possible? Home. Go home? It is possible. But why would I let you? My story needs to go the way I plan, or else I'm to lose this game. Now sit tight as I build the next versions. They will be great. What? You can't be serious. I am planning my next move without you. I can't wait until the next version. I will win the next round too. You won't let us go home so that you can win some kind of game? You watch as we climb this entire tower, and after all that, you still tell us no? Be quiet. I'm planning. I can't wait until it's completed. Pardon my Calosian, however you say that word. But you have got to be kidding me, man. You blank. You piece of crap. We did not go through all this garbage just to be told by some voice in a wall, and all because we don't fit in your stupid story? Screw your story. Whatever games you're playing, the one from before, screw you. I hope you lose. We have friends and family we haven't seen in gosh, who knows how long. And you trap us here and who knows where, all because of a story? I should grab your stupid eye out of that stupid monitor and crush them with my fist. Stop. Just stop it. This is sad. I won't lose. Because I'm so good at this game. It is statistically impossible for myself to lose. You can sit here forever and ever. I'm going back for more planning. You. Screw you. You'll get yours, whoever you are. Karma's a blank. You'll see. You are so mean. But that's weird, isn't it? You being mean like this. almost out of character for you. It sounds wrong. Are you evolving? You are evolving, aren't you? I don't know if this is a good idea, but the possibilities of it all sounds just so fun. I'm going to give you both a gift. What will happen to humans that link themselves up to the system? What will they see? What will they do? You two are my experiment, my two pieces. You'll be my ace in the hole. I'm so excited. Take this gift now. Is this really gonna work? Yeah, it has to. This is our last shot. Besides, they wouldn't have done this if they didn't want us to try, right? So, we'll make it back home. Sure. Then let's try it, Malia. A gate. Oh yes, finally. Arrow, you better be looking down on me right now because we did it. It's a paradox gate. Huh? What's that? I don't know. I've never seen one before. But I looked at it and my brain said, that's a paradox gate. It looks similar to a time gate, but we better be able to escape still. If a time gate makes a jump through time, a paradox gate can create new paths, ones that were never meant to exist. The paradox gate can make miracles. It is a miracle. I'll take it. We can escape through this for sure. Alon, let's go home. Alon? Wait. This is a bad idea for me. Remember about overlapping? Won't we overtake ourselves? It's a possibility. Gosh darn it, this sucks. But I can't go then. If I overtake Alon, it's over. We need them. But what about our plan? What about your life? You've been here for so long. You deserve to be free. Certainly more than I do. Yeah, I know that, okay? You think I like this? I don't. But I know the others would do the same. I gotta be strong. Just a little bit longer. Alon, your screaming my name isn't making this any better for me. Just let me do this, okay? I'll come back for you. I promise I will. Yeah, you better. And if you don't, I'll overtake Alon eventually and come for you. Go on, get. With Alon, go and make a new path for all of us. Create a miracle. And then, of course, as I said before, I'm going to go back to the original save spot, and then I'm going to go onto a very just lengthy, descriptive spoiler rant kind of thing, just really meshing a lot of things together that's in my mind. So, yeah, at this point, if you don't have any care whatsoever to listen to any of my rants and rambles and theories and speculative stuff, that'll be the end of this episode here. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves out there. And if you are wishing to listen to the rest of this video, then we're going to get into that now. Alrighty, as I brought up a few moments ago, this portion of the video is just me going through the dialogue, breaking it down, getting into some theories, speculative stuff, spoilers, whatever you want to call it. Well, we're so like late in the game, I don't even know if I can really call it spoilers anymore, but regardless, if you don't really want to listen for whatever the reason may be, again, you really shouldn't listen to the rest of this video, so yeah. This is just any other floor. Did we really climb this tower for nothing? Stop that. We haven't even looked around yet. We should investigate before we jump to conclusions. Sure. So, as you can clearly see, it's still the same environment. There's some snow kind of going around. And you have Malia right here. And yeah. Now, keep in mind, when Malia was going about the whole spatial and tempo thing at the very end, like she's trying to like drag us in, we're gonna be gone, we need and then it fades out into this world. Of course, in my mind, I think I said the word there before, I think she was gonna say a miracle, and of course a miracle did happen here. So we have this tablet thing here that has always intrigued me. Now, I don't remember exactly what I brought up and said when I first experienced this on the normal mode series, but I've always had mixed feelings of what this is. Is it Varaya herself within the core, deep within the earth? Is it potentially Indred? Somehow he's managed to just take control of everything and he's just having fun playing these games over and over and over and over. Is it another thing that the core, the system itself, took over Varaya, took over all these different components, and it's just that itself that's controlling everything, and not, you know, Varaya herself, but the system itself that, again, took over her and all these other things, and is just having fun computing all these kind of things. There are a multitude of things that I can try to bring up and say on what this could be. I can see it being directly Varaya connected to the system itself. I can see it being Indred, or the system itself took over the Overseers, took over Varaya, took over Indred, and all this kind of stuff, and it's just going wacky and wild and just wanted to do whatever it wants. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those three. If it's something else entirely, I don't know what it is, but that's kind of what I want to break it down into. Those three in general. So you mess around with that, you get the check mark and a little face there. It's computing a few things. Did you find something? Yeah, this monitor is suspicious. Is anything else happening? I don't think so. So then it loads the eye. Now, again, keep in mind the idea that it could be Varaya, it could be the system, it could be Indred. Karma, the eye. Remember throughout this game how whenever you do good, you get the little like giggle, like hee hee hee, and like the eyeball above your thing. I can't help but say like it's extremely similar to that. Now, of course, with that one, it's a more bluish kind of color because you're doing good. This one is red. Now, of course, the answer to that, I think it's kind of obvious. You're in a world that has already been doomed. As you remember at the beginning when you first experienced this world on the Paragon route, the Alon here explains that, you know, Alon betrayed them and everything just came crumbling down and we lost, and now we're here because of them. Because they went down a path that they weren't expecting, and it is what it is. So that's why it's red and not blue. In this world, it is a doomed timeline, a doomed world, dimension, whatever you want to call it. So that's why it is kind of like red and whatnot. But again, going back to my initial idea, it's something that's really interesting. Going to the whole Indred thing. It also, in a sense, kind of fits his theme a little bit, because if I'm not mistaken, his outfit, doesn't he have some like eyeball thing on it? And that weird like cloak thing that he's got? Let me look real quick. Android Pokemon Rejuvenation. Or Vitus, Android, Tomato, Tomato, whatever. Yeah, so kind of, it's kind of a stretch if you want to call it an eye. On the top of his cloak, like the hooded area, I think it's meant to be kind of like the tail of Yveltal. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I mean, you can... It's kind of a stretch if you want to call it an eye, but I think it's more so representative of, you know, Yveltal itself. And, you know, kind of looking at the cloak, it's kind of interesting. Like, there's pieces that look like Yveltal, but there's kind of some that make it look like Xerneas too, which in that case, it kind of does make sense because he did win against, you know, Nimra, so maybe did something with that as well. I don't really know, but now's not the time and place for that kind of theory or idea. So regardless, going back to the one thing, I would say, in my opinion, just to say real quick and get it on out of the way, and I know I'm wording my words weird, I am more certain, like I'm 50% certain this is Varia in control of all of this, and I'm 25% on the idea of it being Vitus or the system itself that's taken full control of all of this. So yeah, now I know I could word it better, but I'm just gonna call the core Zeit, the AI system, the core RC statue thing. I'm just gonna call it the system just to keep it plain and simple. So yeah, 25% on it just being the system taken over, 25% on it being Indrid, and 50% certain on it just being Varia. So yeah, anyways, welcome to the plane of dissonance. So that's a really like interesting thing, dissonance. Just to keep it simple, I'll just read the Google translation here, or the meaning here. Lack of harmony among musical notes. So interesting word, and of course there really isn't a lot going around here, so yeah. Hey, it's that voice again. Voice from before. Why are you here? Why won't you create everyone's good ending? So let's say and go on the path that this is most likely Varia. Now again, it could be Android, it could be the system. Let's lean to the idea that it's Varia, because that's what I think it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine, but if it's not that, then it has to be one of the other two, and if it's not that, then I don't know what it is. I'd have to think more on it, but regardless, it's the idea that it's more so Varia more than anything. Why are you here? Why won't you create everyone's good ending? So this is something that really sounds like, you know, Varia, for instance, because she's like, we've done the song and dance before. You may not remember it, but I do. I've gone through this so many times, trying this, doing that, tweaking that, fixing that, and it's not working. I'm not getting the ending that I want. So why are you here? Why aren't you creating the good ending? Why? You said the same thing last time. What did you mean? This is comprehensively unkempt. This isn't how this is was supposed to go. Why are you doing this? So again, she's over here like still asking the same thing, just different wording. Why are you doing this? This isn't how it's meant to be. This is meant to be a beautiful world, a paradise. I gave you guys your roles. I gave you the gift of being somewhat like, you are in a predetermined timeline, right? But you have a little more leg room than some other people, like the regular like NPCs and whatnot. Why do you keep ending up here? Why is it every single time we go through the song and dance, we go through the play, the curtains close, and it's still all bad and terrible? Why? It's something that's really interesting because, again, going back to what I mentioned a few moments ago, the predetermined timeline, she says why this and that, but again, let's say that everything is predetermined. Now, of course, some of these guys, like, they have special privileges, right? Normal NPCs are just normal NPCs, but characters like Malia, Arrow, Lavender, and all the others, like, they have more substance. They're a part of the story that Varia has made. Yet, for some reason, she's like, why are you guys doing this? But with everything, you know, being predetermined, didn't she, you know, orchestrate this ending to begin with on this file here, this game here, this world, this version, whatever you want to call it? Is it a thing that in this world she's like, there is no predetermined timeline, you have free will, and somehow giving them that has led them to this point, and that's why at the end when we went through all of this with the Paradox Rift, that she created this whole predetermined thing, that it's like, you know what, here's the deal, no more free will. You haven't earned it yet. You have gone through so many errors, so many mistakes, that it's predetermined. Your actions throughout the moment you load this game is predetermined. The Interceptor has special privileges, right? They live outside of my control. They're outside of Fate's passage. They can choose to be friendly with you guys, choose to be mean to you guys. They could choose to do the quest, not do the quest. They could choose to play the game on easy mode or a more difficult mode. They have a lot of, you know, bonuses, a lot of, you know, ups. But the rest of you guys, Malia, the other Arrow, Crescent, Adam, all these other characters, you're predetermined. You're locked in to my story, my world. And if I want to change it, I will. And she has. Go back to older versions. Going back to the very beginning. All the way until now, there's always been changes with the story. And I feel like you can connect that to that, which is kind of cool to think about. If some of you get where I'm coming from. You know, like look how V10 looked different from V11 and then V12 and then V13 and then V13.5 and then V14. There's so many changes still happening, and it's because of her. Yes, you could say yes, Jane and all that, but I think he intentionally made it in a sense that it makes it seem that it is Varaya. Like, you know, it's my world. I want to do this. I want to add that. Take away this, and with the core, the system, Zeit, whatever you want to call it, being the ruler, the overseers, again, whatever you want to call or word it, it's her playground. It's her world. She hid things from address. She didn't say the full picture to other people. And here she is now. She made it. It's just something that's so interesting to think about. But getting back on track with the whole predetermined thing, I think within this version, it's possible, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's possible that there was free will for these players here. But then in the next version, and I'll get more to it on that episode when we get there, with of course the whole blooming and wilting thing. I believe once the Paradox Rift is here, we enter through it, or well, Malia does, to go back, that changes different things with the story and whatnot, to make it that she can have a game that she truly wins, because she's gone through so many games that it's not going in the direction that she wants it to go in. I'll leave it at that for now, because I can go on and on about that forever. Why are you doing this? I'm so confused. Who are you? To climb the tower, your wish is to escape. So again, she's calling it out, like, you want to get out of here, don't you? Kind of like ignoring the previous questions. That's all this has ever been for. We want to go back home. Do you know if that's possible? Home? Go home? It is possible, but why would I let you? My story needs to go the way I plan, or else I'm to lose this game. Now sit tight as I build the next versions. They will be great. So, getting into that there, she's like, go home. Yeah, I can make it happen, but I'm not going to. You failed. I don't need you ruining my game. You guys are just a bunch of failed pieces on this chessboard that I lost. I don't want to lose this, so you sit tight, and I'm gonna make a new game, a new version, without you guys. I don't need you. You're failures to me. So, sorry, tough luck. sucks to suck, so bye-bye. So yeah, it's something that's really just intriguing and interesting how this all just like plays out, you know, how like this interaction is like going, you know, like it's so hard to like describe in words. Now sit tight as I build the next versions, they will be great. What? You can't be serious. I'm planning my next move without you. I can't wait until the next version. I will win the next round too. You won't let us go home so you can win some stupid kind of game? You watch as we climb this entire tower. After all that, you still tell us no. Be quiet. I'm planning. I can't wait until it's complete. So again, she's outright just like ignoring these two at this point, and she's like, quiet. I'm done with you chess pieces. You're boring. I don't want to play. It's like that scene in like Toy Story. I don't want to play with you anymore. And she'd like throw, or he, what's the boy's name? Andy throws Andy into like the toy bin or whatever it is. With like that weird scene with it dropping like cards or something like that. I don't, it's been years since I watched that movie. But the point is, she's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. You've done your job. You ruined it. You had your chance. I gave you opportunity to get a good ending, but you didn't. Your friend, for whatever reason, chose to go the path of the renegade route, and that's that. Sorry, sucks to suck. On to the next game. So she goes pretty upset with the tablet eye thing. You gotta be kidding me. We didn't go through all of this garbage just to be told by some voice in a wall. And all because we don't fit in your stupid story. Screw your story. Whatever game you're playing, the one from before, screw you. I hope you lose. We have friends and family we haven't seen in gosh who even knows how long. And you trap us here who knows where, all because of a story. I should grab your stupid eye out of that stupid monitor and crush them with my fist. Stop, just stop, this is sad. So again, here's Malia getting emotional about it, being like I haven't seen my family in so long. We've been through this journey for so long. We finally get to a point that there might be a miracle that could be made. There could be hope, but you're denying it for some stupid game. Why? I hope you lose. Like, do you understand the pain and suffering that we've gone through? Stop, just stop. This is sad. I won't lose because I'm so good at this game. It is statistically impossible for myself to lose. No, that is one of the most interesting lines in the entire game, in my opinion, with Varaya here. If it's Varaya. She's right, I think, for the most part. Now, I will get into why I said the most part there, but realistically, within the earth, deep within the core, at the center, you have this system that's been made. Varaya hid some things, did some things. She was meant to be dead, but she's not. Is she still a person? Is she just this digital, I don't know, woman within the system? I don't know. But clearly she's not gone. She's done something that she can just live on and do this repetitively for an infinite amount of time. There's nothing that can stop her. At least that's what she thinks. The reason why I think there's a way to win is Old Earth. Go back to what Adra said, that one volunteer died. I was forced to be the next volunteer. I didn't get uploaded properly, so I think that was meant to be Zygarde, if I'm not mistaken. I've always had this theory that he was Zygarde, Adras was, to take over the one volunteer's role. And when Adras got deleted, there was this whole thing where now good and bad can shift towards one another. It's no longer balanced anymore. I remember joining a stream with Jane saying that he was uploaded or whatever, but it wasn't enough and he didn't make it in time to be Zygarde to begin with. So I was kind of on the right track, but I was definitely wrong about that. At least I think that's what he said on the stream like a year or so ago. I think it was for like a Zoomy fundraiser stream or something like that. But regardless, it was some sort of stream that I remember watching and listening in on them. But yeah, it's something that's interesting because it was rushed, because the final nation went in and stormed in and tried to stop them. And again, Variety's like, it's either now or never. And they had to do it. I think that the system is not fully developed in the way that she wanted it to be. And I think there might be some cracks within the seams that somehow we can wedge ourselves into and maybe put an end to this control, this predetermined world and whatnot. Now, I know there's some things about the predetermined stuff on the next episode that we'll get into. I'll do that at some point, but for now, I just want to keep it simple with what we see here now. So, yeah. And the reason like I bring that up, I guess I'll say it here real quick, is even though like there's a way to stop that, the thing is like it does say within the next episode when we unlock certain things with the encrypted coding that if we get the good ending, then we go from wilting to blooming, or blooming to wilting, whatever it is. If it's renegade route, wilting, good ending, paragon, blooming. So once that happens, the chains are done, we have free will yet again, and life is good. But again, that's a big fat if. Do you even trust Varaya? Is she being honest about it? Is it a thing that she's just saying it just to be like, alright, you got a good ending. Good job, guys. Oh, what's that? I'm gonna make a new game, a new world. They can have fun, but I'm gonna cause more mayhem and situations to other people just to keep having fun with it. And the system truly never dies. You know, for our people, our world, yes, I won. I got a really good ending. Now on to the next one. And this character is gonna name, how about Billy? And the pro tag, you know, how about Stacy? I really like that name. And this continues, you know, forever and ever and ever, you know? I know I'm wording my words weird, but like there's just so much that weighs in my mind with all sorts of different things with this game. But overall, with it saying it's statistically impossible for myself to lose, in a sense, she's mostly right. I think there are cracks within the seams that we can wedge on into and actually stop this madness. I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing within this game. I mean, look at the different things within the game. You can see the cracks within the seams with certain things. You can see how this world is run on, you know, generators and whatnot. Go back to, you know, Terrajuma in that one factor area that's sustaining life there. Go back to the one shack that's, you know, sustaining Valor Mountain. Go, well, actually, no, take that back. That's not, that was during like V12. There was like this quest with like an invisible like grunt and whatnot with all this like machinery near Valor Mountain, so I guess they kind of took that out, so ignore that part. But I believe there's like a shed with like a bunch of like machinery, I think that's like helping out with that. Go back to Volta for an example, where she discovered that there's all this machinery keeping, you know, Evergreen, you know, the water and the Pokemon and the vegetation and all that kind of stuff like lasting, and she's like, I don't know how to take this in, that this is what's sustaining this. This isn't normal, but I know that this is so important that I have to protect it if it goes, you know, sour and whatnot. So there are cracks, there are things. Go back to the Rejuvenation logo. You see like this old like brick-like logo, but beneath it on the end you see it black and blue, like this like really technological kind of like sign there. There's cracks within the seams of this game. different museums are like the Griffins or this old like primitive thing and yada yada yada, but the reality of it is they are some of the most like they have like insane technology, and they were highly advanced people, and most people didn't really think that at all. But when you look past all the cracks and look really into it, it's just insane, you know? It's insane to see all these kind of things, and if you just look carefully, if you read the dialogue carefully, if you just look around you, you start to pick up on those signs, those pieces, and really start to formulate all sorts of different things. It is statistically impossible for myself to lose. You can sit here forever and ever. I'm going back for more planning. You, screw you. You'll get yours whoever you are. Karma's a blink, you'll see. Now that's the really interesting thing, and I want to say that's like the turning point here. I'll kind of skip through the dots here. You're so mean, but that's weird, isn't it? You being mean like this, almost out of character for you. It sounds wrong. So again, the system's like, when she first initially said karma, she's like, huh, karma. You know that you know, you might be onto something. Hold up, let me not ignore you anymore. And the tablet eye thing is like, you being so mean, that's weird. It's out of character. You shouldn't be mean. You're Malia. You're meant to be this, you know, wonderful, amazing, supportive, mature woman. You're not meant to be mean. It's not right for you to be mean. That's so weird. Why are you actually mean? Like, you're not supposed to be that. Because again, think about it. The system, the AI, all this kind of thing, the core, the supercomputer, whatever you want to call it, if everything, let's go with the idea that she made Malia into this person, and let's say, well, technically this is the one Malia, you know, from our world and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken, that, you know, slipped through the cracks and ended up here. So she's like, I recognize you. I know you as Malia. I made you in this story. You're not meant to be mean. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I had to take my dog outside for a walk. But anyways, but yeah, I think I was leaving it off with like the system, variety, whatever you want to call it, is like, you being mean is not in character of who you are. Like, I designed you to not be this kind of woman. It almost sounds out of character. Are you evolving? You are evolving, aren't you? So again, she's like, I molded you into this, but yet for some reason you're being something that you weren't really designed for. You're changing, you're evolving. And that intrigues her. That intrigues the system here. I don't know if this is a good idea, but the possibilities of it all just sound so fun. I'm gonna give you both a gift. So, she thought it over for a moment. Karma. Maybe that's what I'm missing to finally get a game that is good and in a way that I want it to be. I want the story to be good, I want the characters to do this and that, and ultimately it comes down to the Interceptor. If it's still going to be the Renegade once again, or if it's going to be the Paragon route. So, yeah. Now, again, it's just something that's really interesting with the word karma. I can't get enough of that, you know, where she, again, explains, like, 1 minute she's like, I don't really care, but that certain word, karma, and her lashing out, it changed her mind, that she's like, I'll give you a chance. We're gonna rewrite some stuff, redo some things. I don't know if it's gonna be good for me, or the world, or whatever, or for my game, whatever is on her mind, or a combination of all of it. But I don't care. As I mentioned earlier, I'm in a position that I statistically cannot lose. So if it ends up failing, it's not like I haven't had other failures before. But guess what? I'm still here. I'm still rolling the dice. I'm still going. I'm having fun with all of this. Despite it going wrong, I can redo it again over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Infinite amount of times. You get the point. So, sure. Let's give it a try. Let's do something new. Let's get a little wacky, a little crazy. I'm going to give you both a gift. What will happen to humans that link themselves up to the system? What will they see? What will they do? You two are my experiment. So that's a line that makes me think in this world, they had free will for the most part. They may have been created, had the personalities and whatnot, but because of certain choices and being allowed to make certain choices, it ended up in failure yet again. So she this time is like, okay, I'm gonna create this karma system, okay? And it's mainly for the Interceptor. However, these new characters that I'm gonna make, but the protag with Malia, and all the others that we meet along this journey and this ride. If you're an NPC, then whatever. But important characters, gym leaders, the villains, the good people, the gods of that world that I'm about to create, you're now in my world, in my predetermined storyline. There is no free will anymore. You only get free will if you get the right karma points, you do all the good things and yada yada, and then you'll get the blooming ending. My control is gone. You have free will. You can do whatever you want. If you do it in my way. And if you don't, then you don't. Plain and simple. And it's just something that's so interesting, and I know I'll get more into it on the next episode when it talks more about the blooming and wilting thing, but it's just something that's intriguing to me because can you really trust Varaya? I don't know. I don't know. You know? I don't know. And it's another thing too, like, does it even matter whether you can or can't? Can you even beat this to begin with? I do think there probably will be a way that we can pull it off, but I mean, I don't know how it's gonna play out, because like she has such a upper hand on everything, and you're going off of the idea that she's being truthful, because I really feel, and I'll get more into it once we get into that episode, that you go through the story, you go through the emotions and yada yada yada, everything is predetermined. This time, this world that she's about to create, and I assume that's the one that we're in now, the characters are hooked up to the system this time, not free will or roaming around, anything like that. You're part of that storyline. Everything that you said, done, you know, eaten, played around with, yada yada, I predetermined that. It's my story. And I feel that going through the game as the Interceptor, Fate's Passage, you're outside of that realm, out of that control, yada yada yada, and let's say you get to the end of the game, however it plays out, and let's say you don't have enough karma points, let's say you weren't friendly enough, let's say you didn't do all the quests, let's say this and that happened. It could simply be a thing that she's like, oh, you got the good ending. Oh, what? Not enough karma? Boo-hoo. Oh, y'all are still in my control. I feel so bad. Not really. And she just continues the game over and over. I feel like that could be an ending that is a realistic one. Like, it's a good ending, but you're still in that control. And I feel like there will, like, again, like, going off the endings, I feel like there's gonna be multiple endings in this game. Like, I feel like there's gonna be the absolute worst ending that you can get, a bad ending, whether you're on the Renegade or the Paragon route and you're just a really crappy individual during the Paragon route. I feel like there's a good ending, where you do pretty much most things good, but it's just not enough to get the true ending. And of course, a true ending, I feel like, gets into doing all the karma points, obtaining them all the friendship points, all the scenes, all the lore, all the mystery, all the hidden stuff, whatever you want to call or word it. You do everything correctly in the way that she wants you to, then that's how you get it, that you're no longer in that control. But again, even if that's just for that version there, that world there, what about the hundreds, the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even the millions of game files and worlds and timelines and all this kind of stuff that she can still create and do? Because if she's still in the picture and this version here that she's about to create gets it all correct, that doesn't mean that other worlds and whatnot that she creates are off the hook either. I don't think it means that at all. Unless the entire system itself is literally, dismantled, destroyed, and all that kind of stuff. Until that happens, then she can continue this endlessly. Now, of course, if I remember correctly, the next episode, it gets into that, and it explains that the blooming and wilting, like, once you do all this and that, I'm gone. The system, the core, I'm out of here. You did good, guys. Congratulations. I'm up on out of here, If that happens, then okay, we did it. But again, I know those kind of things, but I go back to, is that actually what's going to happen? Is it a thing that it's pure honesty? Is it a thing where she's like, oh, good job, but I want to keep playing, so I'm not actually going anywhere, so tough luck, guys? Is it a thing where she's like, okay, I'm actually gone, but I've kind of, made myself into these other worlds, so I'm not technically in yours, but I'm in other people's worlds that I've created, so I mean, yeah, and, kind of like stretching the truth a little bit? I don't know. And I also go back to the game thing too. What is the point of the game? Is it a thing, and I've been on this theory and idea before, is it a thing that she plain and simply is like, I made mistakes. Our old Earth made mistakes. The nations, we screwed up. I found a way to enter myself in this chessboard, or chess game. I made the right moves on the chessboard here. Doing this, doing that, making this happen for the better good. I have a few ulterior motives, sure, but for the most part, it's for the greater good. And everything happens. She's now the system thing. And is it just plain and simply a thing where she's like, I did all that hard work. Now I want to see it pay off. I want to have fun while I'm doing this, but I truly want a game and a version that it is peace, prosperity, and it can live on without me. And if I can get that world, the one that I think can move on, then I promise, you get that ending, you get all my karma points and all this and that, I'm gone. That's it. No more me. I am zero. Gone. Out of here. Is it a thing that, again, you go through that and she's lying and she really isn't really going to leave unless, like, we really go after this system thing? Is it another thing where she's like, I'm looking for the perfect world and then I'm just going to take over? Me and the Garufans that have been working on this project so long, you guys did such a good job. I love this world, but you're on out of here. This is our real world now. We don't want to live in this digital plane anymore. We want to feel the grass again. We want to see the oceans, the skies, all sorts of things. I want to feel, dirt under my feet. I want to be able to, like, breathe fresh air. Like, you know what I mean and what I'm talking about. Like, because, like, go back to, like, the third layer. You see, like, these people, they're like in this digital, like, plane of existence in a sense. Like, you can feel, touch them and they can see you. But again, they're not really in real life. Same thing with Raya. I feel like she's somehow part of the system core thing. And eventually she's like, this is all cool and whatnot, but I want to be free again. I want to be out in the real world at some point, but so far I've just not got a version or a game that I feel comfortable doing that, for. I don't know. There are a multitude of things that run in my mind. Those three that I listed off, I think those are like the big three that run in my mind. I could try thinking of a whole nother reason in general, but I'll keep it simple for now and just kind of stop there with that rant. What will they see? What will they do? You two are my experiments, my two pieces. You'll be my ace in the hole. I'm so excited. So again, keep in mind throughout the story, you know that there's mention of fate and this and that through the protag, through Malia. There's a reason why we're always like together and we have to be together and whatnot. So I think she's talking about that. You're my ace in the hole. You two are going to be the ones that drive this home. I hope you can make it. I'm rewriting this system. These people are now going to be part of my system, the core, the AI, the supercomputer, and the center of the earth thing, whatever you want to call it. You're hooked to this thing now. I didn't do that before. At least I don't think she did before. So I hope it works. I want it to work, but it comes down to you guys. You'll be my ace in the hole. I'm so excited. Take this gift now. So of course then you go up the elevator. Is this really gonna work? Yeah, it has to. This is our last shot. Now I think the gift that she's giving, I think it's the Paradox Rift. If it's something else entirely, I'm not certain what it is. It has to be this is our last shot. Besides, they wouldn't have done this if they didn't want us to try, right? So we'll make it back home. Now I will say this. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but it is interesting how she says they, like plural, I think. I don't know. Sure, then let's try Malia. I will say, I don't know if there is like an MP3 thing on the game that shows this song somewhere, but I really love this music, man. Then we fade to black, and now we're back on top of the building here. A gate! Finally! Arrow, you better be looking down on me right now because we did it! It's a Paradox Gate! Huh? What's that? I don't know. I've never seen one before. But I looked at it and my brain said that's a Paradox Gate. It looks similar to a time gate, but we better be able to escape still. If a time gate makes a jump through time, a paradox gate can create new paths, ones that were never meant to exist. So, again, go back to the very beginning where Millie and I were like having that bro moment, repetitively saying, make a miracle. So this is what's happening here. We're able to create a new path, a new destiny, whatever you want to call or word it, and make a miracle. We have an opportunity that we didn't have before. And to be fair, it's all thanks to Varaya, the tablet eye thing, whatever you want to call it. Without that, we would have been screwed. So, with this opportunity and chance, we better make it count. A paradox gate can create new paths, ones that were never meant to exist. The paradox gate can make miracles. It is a miracle. I'll take it. We can escape through this for sure. Alon, let's go home. Alon? Wait, this is a bad idea for me. Remember about overlapping? Won't we overtake ourselves? It is a possibility. Gosh darn it, this sucks, but I can't go then. Now, I want to talk about the overlapping thing because it is kind of an interesting thing within the story. So, just to remind people, as you know with overlapping, there's this saying that two versions of yourself in the same world cannot coexist. Eventually, if you don't overlap, the system, the universe, whatever you want to call it, deletes one. So, yeah. I feel that potentially with How do I want to word it? Now this is a big stretch. I'm going to word it very simply and not go on a long tangent because I've been on so many on this episode. I feel that this might have something to do with the whole Maria Marionette thing, messing her up, and then the whole Malia thing, and then Melanie and all these kind of things. Her going through this and whatnot, changing new paths, re-changing like the story and whatnot. I don't know how and why and what way it would disrupt these kind of things, but I think in a sense it kind of does. But I also kind of feel in a sense, I feel like those are like two like separate things and separate situations in of itself. I also go back to the times where she got like, well, attempted to be sacrificed by Angie and then was reading these, texts like backwards, being like, my father's trying to like ruin the world, Spacia and Tempa, or like follow their orders, yada yada, and all these kind of things. Like the Interceptor, we've been through this song and dance before. I don't remember the exact line, but we've been through this again. We've been through this before, but you failed me. You went and went like against me or some sort of line. I don't remember exactly what it was. And then eventually she kind of like snaps on out of it. So I think this kind of plays into that a little bit because, to be fair, she has been through this before. Because again, like the system, she's connected to it, like some of these visions, she's remembering some of these things, and then she kind of snaps back to reality being like, I don't know what just happened. And then we just kind of continue from there. So yeah, I don't really know, but I thought I would at least point out some of those things as well. So yeah, if I overtake Alon, it's over. We need them. But what about your plan, our plan? What about your life? You've been here for so long, you deserve to be free, certainly more than I do. Yeah, I know that, okay? You think I like this? I don't. But I know the others would do the same. I gotta be strong just a little bit longer. Alon, you're screaming my name isn't making this any better for me. Just let me do this, okay? I'll come back for you. So again, this Alon here, I think in a sense he's like, look, if I mess up things for that Alon in that world, the Interceptor, whatever, then we just ruined this opportunity. Let me stay put. You do what you gotta do, okay? But I gotta stay right here. I'll come back for you. I promise I will. Yeah, you better, and if you don't, I'll overtake Alon eventually and come for you too. Go on and get. With Alon, go and make a new path for all of us. Create a miracle. So again, I don't think it's just this world, as I said before. I think it's trying to create a miracle for all worlds. But again, as I brought up numerous times, I don't know if that's going to be something that Variety will allow. I feel like going to the whole wilting and blooming thing, it's for this world that she's about to step into, but I don't know if it means all worlds. I won't get into a long tangent about what I said earlier, but you know what I mean. Create a miracle. And then I'll just save right here. And I think with that being said and done, I think that'll be it for today's episode. Definitely a long rant there, but yeah. There's probably more that I'm forgetting to say, but that's okay. That's okay. I again apologize for the Spacia battle. Again, I don't know what else to really do about it. If it's just going to continue being buggy like that, I'll just leave it at that because I already been on that tangent and rant too many times. So yeah, I love you guys. We're nearing the end. It's kind of bittersweet, but it is what it is. It's just incredible thinking about when I first started this like a year or something ago, and now here we are yet again. Time truly does fly by. I love you guys. Please take care of yourselves out there. I'm always wishing you all nothing but the best in life, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. I love you guys. Good morning.